Welcome to Fertility Talks. My name is Mary Wong, and this is live post number 160. And before we go on to talk about East meets West in reproductive medicine, I'll tell you a little bit about who I am. And I am the author of Pathways to Pregnancy, founder and director of a live holistic health clinic in downtown Toronto. I'm an acupuncturist and your fertility strategist. And so the talk is about fertility. I mean, it's everything to do with fertility. And tonight specifically, we're going to really look at Eastern and Western medicine combined, right? How they marry each other. And tonight's guest, I'm really, really pleased to invite Mike Berkley, who hopefully is in the audience viewing, so that I can bring him on. We had technical difficulties literally for the past 40 minutes to try to bring him on. And to tell you a little bit about him, and hopefully we won't have more technical difficulties, Mike Berkley is the founder and director of the Manhattan Berkley Center for Reproductive Wellness. And he is a board-certified licensed acupuncturist and herbalist and has been specializing in fertility for 23 years. So hopefully he can find my broadcast so that he can make a little comment, and then I can invite him in. So I'm just going to see here. Check it out. No, that's not. No.
So can you hear me on the computer?
I can hear you on the computer.
So what happens is I see it says live fertility live post 160.
Okay.
I click on it. Like I can actually see you moving around in this little icon. And then when I click on it, it says this video is no longer available.
Oh, so you're on the past ones that I deleted. So you got to find the fresh one that I'm on right this second. So I have different people scrolling in and out right now that they'll see. But I need to be able to invite you on.
I got it.
Okay, so put your headset back on. And then let's see, type a comment and let's see if I can invite you on. Okay, guys, I am like keeping my fingers crossed that this is going to work. Normally, I do this interview through Zoom, and Zoom is not connecting tonight, unfortunately, to Facebook. I'm going to just double check that is the fact, because if it can actually do it, then we'll actually go through it again. So Mike, did you type something?
So there's no way, there's nothing here that allows me to type a comment. I can see you talking and I can hear you, but I can't type anything. I see something from Alyssa that says I can hear him too. And
they can hear you? Hey, okay, so for people that are watching, if you can hear, then maybe, oh shoot, are you there, Mike?
I am.
Okay. I wonder if we can just go audio then. This is ridiculous. I want to get this done. So you know what? Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to just like keep going, and unfortunately they just see me, and they just hear your voice? Or do we want to postpone? Oh.
Just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to. Hold on.
Okay. I see you here.
Can you see me now on the phone?
No, not really. You know what? I think I'm going to have to cancel this for one more time. I'm going to have to redo it one last time.
Hold on. Watch this video with your friends now.
No, because I think the problem is that you are... I think the last time I blocked you. Wait, what's that sound? No. There are some people that are just waiting for you to come on, and I'm like, it's not working out. So.
Do you want to try to do it on Zoom one more time?
I did. It's not working. It's the first time Zoom's not worked, ever.
Well, I mean, people can hear me, right?
Yeah, people can hear you. Actually, if there are viewers out there, can you give me a little thumbs up that you can hear Mike Berkley? Can you say a couple of things about yourself? Mike? Oh, Mike, are you there?
I am.
Oh, okay. Hey, Mike, why don't you try to... Oh, yeah. I just got a thumbs up. People can hear you. I think we should just go. I'm going to put your... Say something again. I'm putting you even louder. Maybe that'll be better.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, well, you know what? Your audio is coming through my computer through Zoom right now. So you're not even on through the Facebook, through the cell phone.
Hold on 1 second. Let me go to settings.
That's okay. That's just... People, I don't know how... You know what? Maybe people are very patient. It's been only 47 minutes that we've been trying to get you on. So,
Hold on 1 second.
thank you all for your patience with this technical difficulty. We are live, and that's the trouble with doing something live, right? And
you know where I should go in settings?
what's that?
Where should I go in settings?
I don't know. We need someone young to help us right now. Okay, you know what? People can hear you, so let's just do it. Let's just do it right now, and then let's do a redo another time. Because I think this is worth a redo for real, right?
Okay, but hold on.
Wait, I'm in isolation with... Okay, there's a comment here. I'm in isolation with nowhere else to go.
So should I get off of my phone?
So don't worry about your phone. You're on Zoom, but I'm only hearing your voice now.
So I'm going to hang
people,
up on my phone.
Yeah, hang up on your phone. You don't need your headset. We are just going to listen to you through the Zoom that is not working. It's not like connecting to Facebook. So I'm not going to, I'm not going to do any name blaming or anything because, you know what? Actually, with this whole COVID thing going on and everybody isolating, there's a lot of negativity, and tonight we're going to keep it light, and that's why we're laughing with all the technical difficulties. So thank you, Melissa, for being patient, being isolated with nowhere else to go. You are just like a captive audience. It's awesome. So again, maybe what we'll do is when this finally gets aired, we're just going to chop it off. I'm going to just start over. Okay, guys? So I hope this is okay, but I'm going to keep it live, and then we're going to take the screen so that when we actually have the replay, it's going to start from right this second. Okay? So let me do this one more time, and I'm not going to do it again. Okay. Welcome to Fertility Talks. This is Mary Wong, and I'm your host. This is live post number 160. I'm a Chinese medicine practitioner and acupuncturist in downtown Toronto. I'm the founder and director of Alive Holistic Health Clinic, and I am your fertility strategist. And for the love of God, we are going to continue with this show because we have been trying for 50 minutes to get Mike Berkley on, and I'm so impressed that he's also staying with this and not saying, screw you. But here we are. It's awesome. So let me introduce to you who Mike Berkley is. And he is the founder and director of the Berkley Center for Reproductive Wellness in Manhattan, New York. He is a board-certified licensed acupuncturist and herbalist and has been specializing in the field of fertility for the past 23 years plus. And so tonight we are going to be talking about East meets West in reproductive medicine. So totally, thank you for your patience, everyone, and thank you, seriously, Mike, for staying on and just laughing through this. And this is what life should be. Yeah. So it's awesome. And I wish everybody could see you. Oh, you know what? I could be totally crazy. I'm going to be crazy. And I am going to, oh my gosh, I have a brilliant and crazy idea. I am putting you in this. I'm going to do a screenshot of us. Oh, it's not working. Yes, it is. Let me see. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. So today we are going to record you through two things. So I have you on Zoom, but we're recording through Facebook. So I'm going to be holding this camera. I'm going to pretend like I'm some good videographer. So here we are. Oh my gosh, this is the most hilarious thing. Okay, so let's get down to business, because this is talking about East meets West. And I guess when we're looking at that, and in terms of reproductive medicine, I have, a couple of questions that I want to ask right off the bat. But before I do so, I actually want to hear from you about what your story is and why the heck did you go into reproductive medicine in the field, like through acupuncture and Chinese medicine?
So, hi, Mary. It's great to be here. Thank you very much for having me. So, my wife and I were trying to have a baby, and she had a great deal of difficulty getting pregnant, and we found out that I had, I think it was poor motility, and she also had anti-sperm antibodies, and so she was unable to get pregnant. So she went to an acupuncturist here in New York who gave her herbs primarily. And after taking the herbs for, I think, about 2 months, she got pregnant. And I was not an acupuncturist at that time. But when I did go into acupuncture school, that personal experience drove me to want to explore the subject of fertility challenges on a deeper level and perhaps specialize in it, which is what I ended up doing.
Mm-hmm. So I love your story because, those of us in this field, I think that we can may identify this. I myself have a personal story. And for those of you who have read my book, I actually relay my story along with 14 other stories. So thank you for sharing that. And I did not know that about you until literally today. So
my pleasure.
Yeah, and both of us, we go to these fertility conferences. It's called Integrative Fertility Symposium, and it's been going on for the last, 5, 6? I don't even know how many years now. And
probably 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, and what I was blown away with was the number of practitioners that are now specializing in fertility, and the interest and the need, right? So what the topic tonight is about East meets West. So what does that actually mean when we say East meets West in reproductive medicine?
So I feel that the new gold standard of treatment and care should be called East meets West in reproductive medicine. IUIs and IVFs are simply mechanical procedures where follicles are developed and eggs are retrieved, fertilized with sperm, and the embryo is transferred back into the uterus. That's a very mechanical event, and of course that protocol of in vitro fertilization frequently works, but it probably works less than it does work. And so, why is that? It's because nowhere in that description that I just proffered, that I spoke of, is there anything about egg quality, lining quality, or sperm quality. It's just stimulate follicular development, retrieve, fertilize, and transfer. And so that's all Western medicine, which is fantastic. And there's been 4 million babies or 5 million babies born as a result of IVF or something like that. But there's many, many more failures. And the reason for most failures are aneuploidic embryos, chromosomally abnormal embryos. I mean, there are multiple reasons for infertility, but it's a big reason. And so in the realm of Western medicine, or in the context of Western medicine, there's really no remedy for that, nor is any remedy given to the patients because it doesn't exist. So therefore, that is a hole in Western medicine that Chinese medicine may be able to fill. And so it's almost additive, like 1+1=3, like adding the two, adding Chinese medicine and Western medicine actually potentiate the effects of both.
I love that. And it's so funny. This is exactly my analogy. I always say that as well. 1+1=3 or 4, right? It's an exponential help, and it is about filling in that gap. And what I always say as well is, there is no one system of medicine that is omnipotent, meaning all encompassing and able to do everything, right? So there's positives to both, and there may be gaps to both, right? So that's really great that you address that. So why is it important? Like, why, you're already saying this anyway, like why do we need both? And why do, like, what are the downfalls of one, what are the downfalls of the other, or, like that?
It's a really good question. Good question. So let's take an example that immediately comes to mind. So this is an infertility case. I'm just making this up. And it turns out that this woman has, 3 large fibroids in the uterus. So I know that my next statement is going to start a world of debate and, opinions, but essentially, in my opinion, Chinese medicine is not going to be able to shrink and eliminate fibroids of that size. And so we need Western medicine to perform a myomectomy, to remove the fibroids. So this is a case where Western medicine is sufficient. We don't need to add Chinese medicine to that case. But then you can take an opposite case where you have a woman who is 32 years old and her husband is 32 years old, and it's considered to be an idiopathic case, meaning there's no known cause. And so during my intake, the patient will say no to every question. And when she goes to the reproductive endocrinologist, she'll say no to every question, meaning there's no pathology. So what do we do in that case? Well, one thing I always say to acupuncturists is that they need to learn Western reproductive medicine, because they'll be better practitioners if they do so. So let me give you an example about this case. What would the listening acupuncturist do? I mean, would they arrive at a differential diagnosis in Chinese medicine and go ahead and treat? Well, how do you arrive at a differential diagnosis if everything is just fine? She's 32 years old. She's in great shape. What's wrong? So I asked the patient if her husband had a semen analysis. And she said yes, and everything was fine. And I'm like, that's great. Okay, so has your husband done a sperm DNA fragmentation assay? And she said, no. No doctor ever mentioned that. I have no idea. I've never heard of that before. What is it? So I'll send the patient out to a reproductive urologist, the husband, and get a sperm DNA fragmentation assay. And the sperm DNA fragmentation is at 45%, which means that never in this world is she going to get pregnant. So I'm going to step back for a second and give you some guidelines for sperm DNA fragmentation. So 0 to 15%, good fertility outcomes, and 15 to 29% is good to fair outcomes, and anything above 30% is very few pregnancies. So her husband comes back with a DNA fragmentation number of 45%. So now what I do is I discharge the female patient, and I say, you're not my patient. You can go home. Send your husband. And I'll give the husband acupuncture herbs based on my intake and the pattern of disharmony that I find. And the end point of the treatment is to reduce the sperm DNA fragmentation, to improve the sperm. And once that's done, pregnancy will manifest and hopefully will be ongoing. Now, the only reason that I could pick that up is because I know Western reproductive medicine. Not completely, but to some extent. Um, and so this is a perfect example of when and why Chinese medicine is needed and why it's effective. There's no treatment for this in Western medicine. Some doctors will give the patient some things like anti-inflammatories, like CoQ10 or what is it called, ubiquinol or something like that.
Yes, ubiquinol.
Different antioxidants and anti-inflammatories. That's about the extent of Western medicine's ability to participate. So now, the Chinese medicine has made her pregnant. But let's take a different case where you need both medicines. So I've given you two examples. One where Western medicine was all that was needed. That was the myomectomy. And one where TCM, Chinese medicine, was just needed. That was to fix the sperm that Western medicine cannot do. But now let's take a case where you need both. So here's a case. Woman comes in, 30 years old, husband's sperm is fine, no DNA fragmentation, everything is good. But the patient has been diagnosed with endometriosis through a laparoscopy. Both tubes have endometriosis, endometriotic adhesions on the tubes. And so the only way that she can get pregnant is through in vitro fertilization. That's the only way she can get pregnant. She's never going to get pregnant with intercourse. Her tubes they're malformed. They have adhesions on them. So the doctor does a couple of, let's say 2 in vitro fertilizations, and maybe she gets pregnant and has a chemical pregnancy, or